Well, it was pretty bad, that wonderful girl, but you would have never known her. She'd been shot in the back of the head with the shotgun held maybe 2 inches away. She was lying on her face, facing the wall, and the wall was covered with blood. The bed covers were drawn up to her shoulders. Sheriff Robinson then pulled them back, and we saw what she was wearing a bathrobe, pajamas, socks, and slippers, like whenever it happened. She hadn't gone to bed yet. Her hands were tied behind her, and her ankles were roped together with this kind of cord you see on Venetian blinds. Sheriff said, "Is this Nancy Clutter?" He'd never seen the child before, and I said, "Yes, yes, that's Nancy." We stepped back into the hall and looked around. All the other doors were closed. We opened one, and that turned out to be a bathroom. Something about it seemed wrong. I decided it was because of the chair, a sort of dining room chair that looked out of place in the bathroom. The next door, we all agreed it must be Kenyon's room. A lot of boy stuff scattered around, and I recognized Kenyon's glasses, saw them on a bookshelf beside the bed, but the bed was empty, though it looked as if it had been slept in. So we walked to the end of the hall, the last door, and there, on her bed, that's where we found Mrs. Clutter. She'd been tied too, but differently, with her hands in front of her, so that she looked as though she were praying, and in one hand she was gripping a handkerchief. Or was it a Kleenex? The cord around her wrists ran down to her ankles, which were bound together, and then ran down on the bottom of the bed, where it was tied to the footboard. Think how long it took to do. And her there, lying there, scared out of her wits. Well, she was wearing some jewelry, 2 rings, which is one of the reasons why I've always discounted robbery as a motive, and a robe, and a white nightgown, and white socks. Her mouth had been taped with adhesive, but she'd been shot point blank in the side of the head, and the blast, the impact, had ripped the tape loose. Her eyes were open, wide open, as though she were still looking at the killer, because she must have had to watch him do it, aim the gun. Nobody said anything. We were too stunned. I remember the sheriff searched around to see if he could find the discharge cartridge, but whoever had done it was too smart and cool to have left behind any clues like that.